Good morning, Viking fans, and happy Thanksgiving to one and all. It is Justin in Rochester with Purple and Gold for Days, presented by the Purple Code and Minnesota Sports Talk. It is great to have you with us. Yes, I'm doing a live hit real quick here as we start off today's football festivities. Going to give you the weekly picks and the Vikings preview all in one shot. Get your popcorn ready, or whatever it is you got cooking in the oven, the deep fryer, the air fryer, or the grill. So last week, somebody forgot to actually get his pick segment out there. So we're going to do that in back-to-back shots here. So let's just get right to it here. Starting off today, we've got the lid lifter, the Buffalo Bills, who happened to be playing in the same stadium they played in last week due to the Snownami out in Buffalo, will be taking on the Motor City Kitties, the game kicking off here right about now. I'm going to say it like this. I think Detroit actually keeps this game close. I really do. But I don't see them beating the Buffalo Bills. It would be nice to see the Detroit Lions take sole possession of second place in the NFC North, knocking a couple of other teams down, a couple of pegs that we don't like. But having said all that, I think it's close for a while, as somebody has reminded me that Detroit always plays well on Thanksgiving. That's their Super Bowl, but Buffalo's winning this game, no problem. Getting on to the second game today, we have the New York Football Giants taking on the hated Dallas Cowboys, and boy, did they just whoop us last week. New York's being shown to be the paper tiger that they are. They're a decent team. They're probably still going to be a wild card team. Dallas is favored by 10 points in this game. Somebody please explain that to me. I know that they just came off and destroyed us there, but what happened after the Vikings beat the Buffalo Bills 2 weeks ago? Well, emotional win. Granted, they didn't take us to overtime, or more importantly, we didn't take them to overtime. They just took us back behind the woodshed. I think this game is going to be close for a while, but I think Dallas eventually does pull away. Dallas is going to get their Thanksgiving turkey eaten early and often. We always save the Vikings for that, so we all know that. So, clunker of the week, stinker of the week. I know production value not so high because, you know what, not enough time this week to get everything done. Denver, you're terrible. Mr. Unlimited, you're terrible. Carolina, you're not that much better. Carolina, you're at home, so that's why you get this game. That's all there is to it. Moving on with the rest of our lives. Tampa Bay goes to the Cleveland Browns. Tampa Bay's still a mediocre team, but Cleveland's even worse. It's still Tom Brady. They still have something to play for. Cleveland does not. Tampa Bay is going to ultimately win this game by a field goal. Baltimore, yeah, kind of a clunker last week against Carolina, only putting up 13 points. Jacksonville sat out on a bye last week. I still don't see that from the Jaguars just yet. Trevor Lawrence, I like you, but you're not there yet. And at the end of the day, Baltimore is one of the contenders in the AFC. Baltimore's going to win this game comfortably. Let's move on. The Miami Dolphins are showing the world that they are right there with Buffalo and Kansas City, as well as Baltimore. Houston's terrible. They should just forfeit the rest of their games. That's just how bad they are. They're just terrible, horrible, ugly. Miami's going to win that game. Jets, hosting the Chicago Bears. This ought to be interesting. Neither one of the starting quarterbacks of the season are either going to play or going to be at 100%. I will say this. Chicago looks like they're halfway decent when Justin Fields is healthy because he can just make some plays. For all those who wanted to tell me that Justin Fields was a bust, I got a little something for you there. The Jets finally make the decision to bench their starting quarterback, which is probably about 3 weeks too late. Having said that, if Justin Fields was 100% healthy, I would take the Bears here, but our next opponent is going to come out of this game with a victory. And then one of the more decent matchups this week, Cincinnati Bengals go to Tennessee. I'll say this, the Tennessee Titans are kind of like the Vikings. They're a good, solid team. They're just not a great team, but they are very well coached. Joe Burrow is a star quarterback in this league. And at the end of the day, if this game was in Cincinnati, I would take the Bengals. But I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans here to keep pace with the rest of the contenders in the AFC. The Dirty Birds in Atlanta, Cordero Patterson, congratulations on becoming one of the all-time greats. But you're going to Washington. They've got a defense better than Chicago's. You're not putting up 27 points against these guys. We saw them a few weeks ago. We know how this is going to go. Taylor Heineke is going to continue his magic carpet ride to try to keep pace with the rest of the NFC East. Atlanta, it's nice knowing you, but like a lot of birds today, you're going to be cooked come Sunday. Tell you what, speaking of cooked birds, why Arizona hasn't fired Cliff Kingsbury yet is beyond me. I just don't get this team. They've got all kinds of talents. They've got talent at quarterback, but inconsistent. They've got a really good wide receiver, and yet and still, this team just continues to crap the bed left and right. San Diego Superchargers, yes, I know, doing the bit. took Kansas City to the wire last weekend. I think they're going to go on the road and beat the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are going to have a top 10 pick. Let's just call that for what it is. Shout out to David. Thanks for joining me. Happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate you, boss. There you go. Football. It's Thanksgiving football. Nothing but great things on Thanksgiving Day. All right. I had to do the bend at least once for John Madden because, well, he's immortality. Having said that, let's get to the rest of this here. Seattle Sea Chickens. I'd say I would go 3 for 3 for the birds getting killed, but you got the Las Vegas Raiders coming to town, and they're just absolutely horrible. Seattle, again, another decent team like the New York Football Giants. I have them winning this game because the Raiders are terrible. Seattle's going to want to keep pace to keep their playoff hopes alive. Because, again, they're going to be fighting with the Washington Commanders for that 7th seed here. Let's just talk about stuff being done here. We got the Los Angeles Rams. Congratulations. You won your Super Bowl. You know what? I would take being a Rams fan right now for all 6 of them out there that won their Super Bowl, and after that, they're terrible. Because guess what? It's called having a Super Bowl. One of the things we hope we have before we die as Vikings fans. Kansas City's going to absolutely destroy the Rams. Let's not even waste any more time. Speaking of a game that's going to be no time needed, I'm telling you right now, as I have been for about 4 or 5 weeks, San Francisco 49ers are right there with the Eagles, Cowboys, and Vikings. They're a good team. They had a couple of hiccups earlier in the season. Had they started Jimmy Garoppolo from the get-go, they would already be the talk, and some people already are. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Their offensive and defensive lines are completely stout, and that's a bad matchup with the Vikings, as we've just saw last week at home against Dallas. New Orleans has absolutely zero chance of winning this game. Lock of the week is that San Francisco will win. We always know we save the Packers and Vikings as the lid lifters here. So let's get to Monday Night Football here real quick. Pittsburgh, I love Mike Tomlin. He's a better coach than Jeff Saturday. But anybody who thought that the Colts just fired their coach so that they could tank, yeah, me too. They've got it all together. They had Philly on the ropes last week. They had him, and they let him off the hook. Copyright the late, great Denny Green. Pittsburgh, rookie quarterback. You're not going into that team that's on a roll right now. Indianapolis wins this game. And now for the undercard. What do we do here? We've only been saying it for a few weeks, and now time has come where we have to decide what we do as Vikings fans. Here's the deal. It's real simple. My 2 favorite teams are the Vikings and whoever play the Packers. Except when the Packers win could help the Vikings. Listen, I'm not going to watch this game. I'm going to be traveling back to Rochester anyway after I spend the weekend here with my family and my girlfriend and all the wonderful people in my life that I have to be thankful for. It's a win-win situation for the Vikings. If somehow, some way, the Packers beat the Eagles, we still are in line for the number 1 seed. Ultimately, the mantra is, before we die, we just want to see them win 1 Super Bowl. And the fact of the matter is, a Packers victory helps that cause. Ugh. I still get the heebie-jeebies saying it. But guess what? If the Packers lose, then we get to go to the office the next day on Monday and say, ha, you guys lost again. You're done. Having said all that, Philadelphia is my pick for this week. I can't bring myself to say it. Yes, I can. I hope I'm wrong on that pick. Not because I hope the Packers win. I just hope the Eagles lose. So, time for the main event. So this is where we get into not only the pick segment, but also the preview breakdown. But before we do all that, what do we have to be thankful for as Vikings fans? Well, they're 8-2, and nobody thought they were going to be that way. Not Paul Allen, not the most drunk on purple Kool-Aid fans thought we would be as close as we are right now, or at 8-2 right now. So let's just call it for what it is. Let's be thankful. Let's be grateful. Let's not be thankful that we got killed last week, but let's be thankful that we actually have an opportunity to, do this thing called get back to where we might be or where we should be. So at the end of the day, I'm going to say it like this. Let's not forget what else today is. Oh, that's right. It's Happy Randy Moss Day. Happy Randy Moss Day, you say? Why, yes, I do. It goes a little something like this.
Robert Smith is back from Minnesota. And he is throwing it back to Cunningham, the old flea picker. Open is Randy Moss, and in the end zone is a Minnesota touchdown.
Yep, you know they were going to do it. The fans knew they were going to do it. The Dallas Cowboys knew they were going to do it.
Here's Cunningham back to throw it and going deep, and he's got Moss, and there's a flag on the play, and Moss has caught the pass, and it's in the end zone anyway. Touchdown. Just throw it as far as you can.
This guy is amazing.
And I don't know how you stop him.
I don't either.
Well, Cowboys showing blitz. Minnesota. It's Randy Moss breaks a tackle, and Randy Moss races down the sideline, and Randy Moss just outruns everybody into the end zone. He is incredible.
And you're going to see it's just a little 3-yard go. And then when Randy Moss gets here, he just outruns everyone. Randy Moss has 3 catches today and 3 touchdowns.
Hi, Mom. Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm going to say it like this. Justin Jefferson's probably not going to go Randy Moss on the bit today. It would be awesome if he did. The simple fact of the matter is this Vikings offensive line, let's call it for what it is. It's kind of in shambles right now. I mean, it's not the complete disaster that it has been the last 2 years. They got injuries left and right. Christian Darrisaw, rest up, my brother, because we're going to need you. We're going to need you. Listen, I think the Vikings ended up winning this game 27-17. That's been my score prediction from the get-go, and I'm sticking to it, and here's why. Defensively, just throw everything. You put 9 guys in the box and stop the run. Just stop the run. That's all you need to do. Mac Jones is not going to beat you up and down the field the way Dak Prescott did. Take the run away from him. If he has a couple of nice drives early and they put some points on the board, that's fine. Who cares? They're not putting more than 17 points up on the board here. Take the run game away from him and feast. Offensively, Kevin O'Connell, you're going up against your old mentor, the master. That is Bill Belichick. Last week, you done got schooled by Mike McCarthy. So I'm thankful that a few days later, you have the opportunity to not only get back on the field, but get back on the field against the best that there is, the best there was, and more than likely, the best that ever will be. Having said all that, Bill Belichick's going to have a little something for us. They saw what Dallas did to us last week. Bill Belichick is so good. He's not just playing chess. He's playing 3D chess. Everybody's talking about, well, Bill Belichick knows how to expose a team's weakness and take advantage of it. Well, that's what. They're going to plan for that. And Bill Belichick will already have his counter plan as to what we're going to do to our counter. So what I'm saying is this. I know you love 1 and 3 wide receivers, pass happy, all that, mixing in a little Dalvin Cook. This needs to be a Dalvin Cook game early and often. I'm not saying ignore the wide receivers, particularly Justin Jefferson, get him his touches and all that good stuff. But occasionally, you might want to think of this thing called max protection. Once in a while, leave a tight end in. Once in a while, get C.J. Ham in there to be Kirk Cousins' personal protector, because as you saw, as good as Cousins has been this year, and as many comebacks as he has, and as many times as he's gotten back up after getting knocked down, he couldn't get up last weekend, and that's not even his fault. He was getting battered and bruised, and I'm surprised he's not on the injury report. Having said all that, let's get back to basics. I'm not saying Kubiak run, pass, punt. I'm not saying Mike Zimmer 1985, we just run to establish the run. But what I am saying is occasionally you have to adjust. And occasionally you have to do something that you might not like to do. Now, O'Connell has been better about adjusting in the second half. Didn't adjust early enough, and by the time any adjustments could have been made, that game was long over. So all I'm going to say is this. Let's take off one of those wide receivers for a little bit. I'm not saying that you have to run exclusively 2 tight ends or max protect, but let's do it at some point once in a while. Ultimately, I'll say it like this. The Vikings, if you thought that they had won the Super Bowl when they beat Buffalo, that was an overreaction. If you think the Vikings are dead and buried because they got embarrassed last week, that's also an overreaction. 3 weeks ago, we knew this was going to be a gauntlet, going to Buffalo and being at home for Dallas and then New England. All you have to do is win today, and you go 2-1 in that stretch. Everybody would have taken that. So it's all right there in front of them. You have the opportunity to play at home for the first time on Thanksgiving Day. We've always had to go to Detroit or Dallas. And I think one time did we go on the road once for the night lifter? I don't remember. It doesn't even really matter. Vikings finally get a home game on Thanksgiving. It's time to cook. So to all the Viking fans out there, all the fans of any sport, any team, happy Thanksgiving. Get that turkey consumed. Get that ham, those stuffings, the mashed potatoes. But as John Madden would say, the key to any good Thanksgiving is you got to have good gravy, because that's what ties it all together. What's going to tie this day together is a Vikings W, and we're going to come back. We get our mini bye before we have to face the Jets and whoever the heck they decide to throw out there at quarterback. It's going to be a good day. Don't overreact to last week, just like don't overreact to the week before. It's one game at a time. Any given Sunday night, Thursday night, Tuesday night, regardless of what night it is, every game is big. Vikings are going to come out with a victory. I'm telling you that right now. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. I do want to thank who we presented here today. I just wanted to get right into the pick, so I've got to give some shout-outs and some mentions here to everybody who got little piece of the action here today. As always, this is Purple and Gold for Days. I am presented today by my friends at the Purple Code. Side note, during halftime of the Lions game, there will be an episode dropping on the Purple Code page. So hit that comment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button to all the channels we have here. Purple and Gold for Days, the Purple Code. The other presenter today, Minnesota Sports Talk as well. I know Dave's going to go live at about 6 o'clock tonight, and he's going to do a pregame show. Hopefully, he hasn't consumed too much of that turkey, but he's going to be live, so check him out. That's on Minnesota Sports Talk here. So like I said, keep it tuned to the Purple Code, as well as the entire family of channels here at the Purple Code. That's Purple Pocket Podcast, my boy Rap, Minnesota Sports Talk, my boy Dave, as well as the Purple Code who has presented us here. And because this is a presentation of the Purple Code, we have to, of course, give thanks and praise and a shout out to Rinaldi's Pizza and Pasta. They're located on Woodlake Drive in Woodbury, right off the intersection of I-494 and Valley Creek Road. And of course, Nautical Bowls, they got some love today too. They're located on Hudson Place. I always click the wrong one. Hudson Place, and that's right off the intersection of I-94 and Woodbury Drive. Just want to thank all the sponsors here, all the people who presented me here today. Steven, shout out to you. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate it. Let's feed Thielen the ball all day. Listen, I don't care who we feed. All I care about is we get a W. But yes, it would be nice. Adam Thielen's been on a milk cart. A part of that is game flow. Part of that is just, wanting to get Justin Jefferson the ball. Still got to keep out Dalvin Cook involved. Listen, feed everybody. But let's make sure that the offensive line is fed first, because right now they need some help. They need a little side action. Okay, the offensive line is going to be your turkey and your ham. We need our tight ends and running backs and one less wide receiver to be the mashed potatoes, gravy stuffing, and green beans and cranberries and everything else in there. We've got to adjust a little bit and give our offensive line some help today, because that defensive line in New England is every bit as good as us and is every bit as good as Dallas. And as we've seen, the two teams we've lost to got pretty good defensive lines. We got to keep Kirk Cousins comfortable. Just keep him comfortable. Doesn't have to be perfect. It'd be nice when the pocket around Kirk Cousins is perfect. Guess what? He's pretty doggone good. He's a top 5 quarterback in a clean pocket. Clean pocket doesn't always happen. You can't always build a brick wall. But once in a while, you got to get your boy some help. Shout out to Knowledge. Thanks for joining me today. I say TJ bounce back today. Hey, that's another one. Let's just all eat tonight. Let's just all eat throughout the day. Everybody stay safe, though. Wherever you may be, whoever may be with, be thankful, be grateful, consume all kinds of food, drinks, whatever it is. Just everybody stay safe. Everybody get home safe, and let's watch this Vikings victory tonight. I'm telling you right now, again, final score, it's going to be 27-17. Need 2 tight end sets. Steven, thank you, sir. That's what I've been saying. What I said about the second quarter of the Dallas game, but we didn't quite get around to it. Hopefully, after getting embarrassed, O'Connell will say to himself, you know what? Might have to do things a little bit differently than I want to. And that's a sign of a good coach, is saying, you know what? I'm not going to shoehorn my system into my players. I'm going to do what's necessary against the opponent that I'm facing to say, hey, this is what it's going to take to get a victory. Anybody else want to drop in a quick score prediction real quick, feel free to do so. I'll get you up on here. I'm going to read my sponsor list one more time. So again, this is Purple and Gold for Days. That's me, Justin in Rochester. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this. Hey, most of all the content creators went last night. Justin actually went on today, rambling on like he always does, but at the end of the day, he took time out for us. All right, let's see here. Oh, Steven, all the way from Australia. Well, I've made it. Somebody across the world's listening. There you go. Jokes aside, in all seriousness. And with that being said, Vikings are going to win this game. I'm telling you right now, they were embarrassed. When you get embarrassed like that, you better have something. I don't care who it is against. The New England Patriots, Kansas City Chiefs, you better have some sort of better performance than what you had last week, because last week was absolutely terrible. All right, back to my sponsors here and my presenters here. So again, this is Purple and Gold for Days. I am presented today by the Purple Code. Keep it tuned to the Purple Code. They're going to have something for the Vikings. I think it's going to be Rap and SK. I think are going to go during the halftime of the Lions game to do their Vikings preview. Don't know if I'll have a chance to tap in or not, but we'll see. But because it's a presentation of the Purple Code, I got to give my guys at Rinaldi's Pizza one more shout here. Wood Lane Drive. Mention the Purple Code. You get a family discount. Just say the Purple Code sent me. They'll hook you up. Same thing goes for Nautical Bowls. Say Purple Code, family discount. Whether you want something like pizza and pasta, as I've said it before, the pizza's good, the wings are great, but the cheese bread is outstanding. Try it. You'll love it. Want something lighter? Go on to Nautical Bowls. I'll tell you what. It's amazing what Rick and SK have done building this platform. Just want to thank those guys again for having me on. And finally, of course, my guy Dave at Minnesota Sports Talk. I don't care which channel you're watching this on. Please subscribe to Minnesota Sports Talk. Please subscribe to Purple Code. And please subscribe to Purple and Gold for Days. Hit that share button. Hit that like button. Put your comments in there. Put your final score predictions in there. Also, go to Purple Pocket Podcast. That's my guy, Rap. He's running a contest. All you have to do is go to his post. It's called Vikings Lottery. Just post your score, who wins, what's the score is. He's got a progressive pot going. He's going to give out $22 if somebody nails the score. Nobody got it last week, so he's bringing it up a couple dollars every single week. So go to Purple Pocket Podcast, subscribe to my boy Rap as well. With all that said, I'm going to get up out of here, pretend to help my mom cook some food around here, get things ready for people coming on over. My name's Justin in Rochester. The name of the channel is Purple and Gold for Days. Please check me out, like, comment, and subscribe. Steven gets the last word here. He says 24-16 Vikings. I will take that. Absolutely take that. I'll take a 1-point victory. I'll take a 10-point victory. I'll just take any kind of victory over Bill Belichick to end Thanksgiving Day on a happy note. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Nothing but love. Skol Vikes. You have a great rest of your Thanksgiving day. Squeeze your loved ones really hard. Tell them how much you love them and how much you have to be thankful for. Thanks again. Happy Thanksgiving. See you on the flip side. Tune in at halftime of the Lions game. We'll have a little bit more Viking content for you. Peace.